la clase. Today we're going to learn about a new mood in verb tense called the present subjunctive. So unlike the indicative tense that we've learned about in the past, that is all about certainty, the subjunctive mood moves beyond that and talks about what is beyond the speaker's experience, knowledge, and what is unknown. To form the present subjunctive, we're going to take the yo form, the present indicative. You'll take off the O and add these endings. So for AR verbs, you add ESE, MOS, N. And then for ER and IR verbs, you add as, almost, ice, on. And there's always going to be those irregulars that'll get you, so make sure you remember these. For dar, you use day and go with that. For a star, you start with este. Ear, you use via. Saber, sepa, and ser, sea.
Muchas gracias, Catherine. But now it's my turn. So please step out of the way. Now, class, Professor Catherine gave you a great idea on when to use both, or how to use both irregular and the regular present subjunctive form. However, she didn't explain when to use it, and that's why I'm here. So, in order to use the subjunctive, 3 conditions must be met. So let's start with the first one. So the first one is going to be the sentence must contain a main clause and a subordinate clause. So essentially what a clause is, it's you have to have both a subject and a verb in it. And with that, we go on to the second requirement, which is the 2 clauses must have different subjects. So if you come over here on the side of the board, what we have is essentially S1 plus V1 yielding to S2 plus V2. Now what this actually means is that in your first clause, which is your first main clause, you're going to have your first subject and your first verb. But then once you go into your second clause, or subordinate clause, in order to use the present subjunctive form, you're going to have a different subject and a different verb. So we come back over here for number 3, and essentially the main clause must communicate a certain message. For instance, whether that's going to be persuasion, doubt, or like an emotional or value judgment. And so with this now, let's get into some examples. So before we start any of the examples, in case you're in the middle of something you forget, here's a helpful acronym to it. Essentially, it's you weirdo. You have uncertainty, wish, want, emotion, impersonal expression, recommendation, request, doubt, and ohala. And before you ask, yes, I do have a song that will help you remember this. It goes to the tune of Now or Never in High School Musical 3. So essentially it goes, U-W-E-I-R-D-O, you weirdo, U-W-E-I-R-D-O, you weirdo, hey, you weirdo, hey. So that's essentially what it is. So come over here now, let's look at some of the examples. So the first one, esperan que llevemos una vida feliz. That's essentially translated, they hope that we lead a happy life. So they hope, coming back over here, hope goes with wish, want, they wish for us to have a happy life. So that's why we use the present subjunctive form there. On to the second one, es dudoso que la tecnología resuelva todos los problemas. And so we look for the verb right here, dudoso, it's doubtful in Spanish. And so coming over here, you have your doubt. So that's why we use the present subjunctive form there. And then for the third one, me pone triste que haya tanta hambre en el mundo. So essentially, it makes me sad that there is hunger in the world. And so this right here is an emotional judgment. It makes me sad, and this is why we come over here for emotion. Really hope these examples helped. Well, we hope that you all learned a lot today. But remember, class, what do we always say?
Viva el español! Viva el español! Viva el español!